our generation was the first generation to really sort of be one foot in the analog space and then 1 foot in the digital space. And so we're still trying to figure out how to balance those things. And the generations that are coming afterward, they're going to be going through, I think, a kind of a reverse process where they start immersed in the digital space. And now they're going to have to figure out how to like find that good balance of like digital and analog. Because I think they're going to be dealing with, I mean, we deal with burnout from digital stuff all the time, right?
Right.
All the fucking time. I mean, I work on my computer screen, 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm done with computer screens by the time I'm done. Like,
Truth.
I want to go like sit outside on a swing porch and stare at the moon and yell or something by that point. Or go for a walk or like.
Yeah, primal scream therapy is very useful.
Yeah, or like knock a Tibetan singing bowl or whatever, and that's how I'm dealing with it. So like,
do you see like a resurgence maybe coming at some point? Do you see like, because
so.
I mean it's one of those things where, there's always there's ebbs and flows with everything. So the question I'm asking is, do you think that at some point kids that have never known anything different are gonna turn to crave?
I mean, this gets back to my thought about the one thing that analog toys really have over digital stuff is tactility and being able to like physically interact with something. I mean, like even in our conversation, there's such a difference between talking to somebody in a physical space versus talking to somebody over the internet, at least for now. And it's like there are degrees of difficulty at it, right? Because there's lag between, me talking to y'all and y'all talking to me. And everything about analog physical space is so immediate and so intuitive. And that immediateness and that intuitiveness is something that I think is going to be something people are more aware of as we go on. Because, while there doesn't seem to be an upper limit of what's possible in the digital space, there is, however, just the realistic or the in the moment aspects of it's just so different to be next to somebody or occupy the same space physically versus just the digital sort of coldness, right? And that coldness, I think, is going to. I mean, it's worn on all of us, right? In COVID times, like,
but we know different. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Is that what I mean? Like you were talking about the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. There's a generation that doesn't know anything, doesn't know life without Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok.
Last week when we were talking with Taylor, I had mentioned this idea that I think about a lot. That was something that Brian had talked about, who's this music producer and artist who I really appreciate. But something he said that I think about a lot is this idea that the glitches or the quote-unquote negatives of the previous art form inevitably become the points of fascination and interest of the next art forms. So I'm going to be kind of abstracting this a little bit, and I'll get back to my actual point, which is that so in a lot of music nowadays, something that is becoming a very common like musical texture is this like warbly sound quality that came from a lot of VHS, like 80s VHSs and 90s VHSs. And that's become like a point of like synthwave, right? Is like that is now like because it has a nostalgic tone to it.
Synthwave or even like vaporwave.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that nostalgic tone has become something that is now fascinating to our generation. And I think
it's yearning for home in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we're all still born analog anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we're all still born analog. So I think on a certain level, it's got to be somewhat inherent for any person, any kid, any human being to want to return to that analog space on some level. So that's my whole That's
Yeah.
my whole rant, basically, trying
Well,
to defend it.